Hello one and all and welcome to Kit Guru. Let's jump straight into the SL5000SE, standing for Special Edition, the gaming chair by VERTAGEAR. So you can find the Special Edition online in the UK at the moment for about £359. So let's look at the packaging. It's the first thing that we look at when something comes through the post to us. So packaging was standard, it did the job, protected the stuff inside from getting scratched or damaged, and really that's all you can ask for in my opinion. It was quite easy to open. Most of it I could either open by hand or sometimes occasionally I use a knife. Please do be careful though and don't scratch your nice lovely new chair with a knife if you do use one. The only bit that was a small bit of effort for me was the packaging around the arms of the chair. It was a bit tricky to pull off the plastic foam around the arms. That was the only gripe I really had. The next thing, obviously, when you're trying to put something together is the manual. So that's what we're going to be looking at next. It was easy to read. It had words to accompany the illustrations that were inside, and it made it really simple to follow, even for somebody that hasn't really made many chairs before. So the next thing we're going to look at is the tools, because that's the next thing you need when building a lovely chair. So I really like the tool that they gave to use, but the more I used it, the more I found it was a little cumbersome, although it does give a much easier leverage without hurting your hand. But this may be because I have smaller hands. I kind of struggle generally anyway. I haven't got very strong hands. Assembly. So putting the thing together, I found it was quite easy to make. The arms came attached, which other companies don't tend to do, which saved a job for me, but it was a little bit heavy because it was an all-in-one unit as such. Due to this, there really wasn't that much in the box, which was less daunting to look at and seemed a little bit simpler. When I put the piston in, I was kind of waiting for a click or something to happen. There was no indication to let me know that it was really in. Same when I put the wheel frame on, but hey, it worked, so I'm happy with that. Pulling the brackets to the upright position was actually really hard for me personally. On one side, I did actually need to get help with that, as it really hurt my hand trying to pull it up into that upright position. Also, putting the back on would have obviously been easy with two people, but I like to see how I can get on by myself, because let's face it, not all of us have someone to help at all times. I found that it was actually quite easy because of the mechanism that they chose to put the back on. So there's holes inside the back of the chair, and when you put it onto the brackets, the chair kind of absorbs those brackets and they go into the chair itself. That makes it look really nice because it's really tidy. You don't have to put these big plastic caps that you get in other companies' chairs that they just slap on and it makes it look cheap. You keep that really nice premium look about it, and it does make it easier for assembly as well if there is just one of you. So as I said, this is really easy to put together, but I did have a gripe with some of the bolts. They didn't seem to go all the way into the chair at the side, which made them kind of not sit flush to the surface, which somebody who's a bit of a perfectionist, this kind of bugged me a little bit. It was only minute, and I did find that after fully tightening them, they did actually go quite flush, but I did have to get help with that. This of course could have been seen as a downside, but I'd much rather this than the big plastic plates you get on some of the other chairs in the market. It hides the mechanism and to me does the job really well. Time to build. Well, it took me roughly 30 to 40 minutes to build, and for me that is kind of average. Yourself, you may get it done a lot faster if you're used to building chairs, but you know, that's kind of an average time for me. I didn't think it took too long at all. Let's talk about armrests. Initially, the buttons for the armrests were a little bit stiff, and after usage, I must say, it was really smooth. My partner actually said to me when he saw the video, he's like, you made that look really difficult. That's why, honestly, they did loosen up really quite instantly, so don't be put off by that. So talking of armrests, let's talk about the adjustability. This means you can move the armrests forward, backwards using the buttons on the inside near the front, side to side using the button on the inside near the back, and you can swivel from left to right. And you do this by just pulling it the way you want it to go. You can adjust the height up and down using the pull up button on the other side of the arm. I found this was more than enough when it comes to options, and the swivel on the armrest was great because some chairs I've reviewed actually make this facility a bit too loose, and when you adjust your position or lift yourself up, it twists, which is is really bad for your wrist when you're pushing off and it moves. VERTAGEAR have really got the resistance on point with these armrests, and I really do like them. You can also adjust the armrests outwards or inwards by adjusting these bolts underneath, which is a really nice touch. It means that you can make it snug you a little bit more closer to you, or you can move them out if you feel you need a bit more room. So that's another adjustment I'd like to point out. 140-degree adjustment on the backrest, which is not quite laying down, but enough to relax or look up at a monitor that is higher on the wall, for instance. However, if you do pull out the tilt mechanism, you can go back what I think is a little bit further. It may still be classed as 140 degrees, but you can almost make it feel like you're fully laying flat. Height-wise, underneath the chair towards the back, you will find the height adjustment lever. I'm around 5'6", and fully down would be where I really should have it according to the correct way to sit. And when it's fully extended, I was on tiptoes. So my partner is around about 6 foot and he loves this chair. So most heights, I would say, will get on well with this one. I also found that the position of the lever was really easy to get to. There was no twisting my arm round trying to find where it was. It was easy to get up and down. So let's move on to something other than adjustment. So cushions. Let's talk about the comfort level of this chair. The foam that is in the seat of the chair is really quite resistant and feels rather firm. Most chairs I have found have a similar idea with the firm cushioning so that it kind of doesn't leave you sitting on the frame, and over time it won't go too low so that it's uncomfortable. Me personally, I like a really soft foam, kind of memory foam feel, if that kind of makes sense. Initially, I was a little bit apprehensive that this would be comfortable to sit in for a length of time. However, I was really pleasantly surprised, and I didn't seem to get any kind of pressure anywhere in my back or anything like that. The only thing that I wasn't overly keen on was the lumbar pillow. So it is really thick and quite firm. It is great for sitting forward, but there's not really a way that you would want it to, to kind of sit up straight and back. Because if you have this under your back, your head kind of feels like you're tipping back a little bit too far. You kind of end up having your lower back further forward than your head, which to me is not really that comfortable at all. Now, on the other hand, I wish that they made the whole chair out of the material that's inside the headrest pillow. It is absolutely heavenly. Almost like memory foam, but even better. I'm not really one to sit with my head back against this type of area on the chair, but I did make a conscious effort to do so because it was just such an experience. I absolutely loved it. It seems odd that the lumbar pillow isn't the same level of comfort. Without any of the pillows, the chair is great ergonomically, but there really doesn't feel like there is much cushioning at all in the back itself here, and I feel that the seat and the bottom are really quite firm. The armrests are rubber and they are really firm, almost could be mistaken as plastic at first glance. It would have been nice to see a softer material here, or even having some sort of cover for them so that it's a little bit softer for your arm when you're popping it on there. I won't go into the full specs of the actual chair. Everything that you would need to know about height and weight and everything like that and more is on the website, so make sure you check that one out. So we have spoken about almost everything apart from how it looks. It is really quite a work of art. The blue of this is absolutely pleasing to the eye. A nice change from the normal gaming chair colours. This is all nicely complemented by the yellow stitching, two types of fabric. So there is a plush fabric on the middle seat and the backrest, which is really nice and comfortable. I live in quite a cold house, and when I was sat in this, I never actually got too cold. There is also some PVC leather accents, which really set off the premium look. I feel that the look of this chair is really what I would call premium. Of course, if you had pets, this could be a little bit of a hair and fur magnet. Even on the lumbar support pillow, you do get a lot of debris that sticks to it, so that is something to consider. Personally, I still prefer this, even though the debris can get stuck to it, because A, it's more comfortable, and B, it gives it that more premium feel and you don't get stuck to it in the summer. Let's talk about build quality. The chair is really quite heavy, and I think this reflects the craftsmanship of the item. I don't think this is a downside. The steel frame and aluminium base is really sturdy. No unintentional wobble or rattle, even at full recline or full height extension. All the materials look like they would last a really long time with no sagging, and there is very little chance of tearing. I'm not one to fully recline, and you may have seen in my previous chair review video that I get a little nervous when laying down in full recline, but this chair offers a much more comfortable level of recline in my opinion. I did not once feel nervous or feel as if I was going to tip over, and the wheels are really quite wide, which again stops you feeling like you're going to tip. Talking of the wheels, they run perfectly on my carpet, and to be honest, I have a really uneven old floor, so if it can work here in this place, it can work anywhere in my opinion. On hard floors, I doubt it would cause any damage because of how wide the wheels are, but I cannot test this. You can always let us know down in the comments if you end up getting one of these yourself. Let's quickly run over the pros and the cons. So for me, it looks great, it's ergonomically comfortable even without the pillows on it. The materials and design look premium, the mechanics are really easy to use and really fluid. It is easy to put together and the manual is easy to read. Lots of adjustment options, and the price, you're getting a lot of chair for your money here, I believe. Cons, the lumbar pillow is a little bit too hard and a bit too big in my opinion. It's a bit too thick and a bit too hard. I feel that the chair is all round a little firm, but that may wear in over time. The price isn't cheap, of course. You could say this is a con if you like. The bolts didn't fit as I would have liked them, and that really offended me. But of course, with an extra tough grip, you can get them flush, but it was really difficult for me. I did have to get help with that one. So conclusion, I think this chair is one of the best ones I've tried and or owned yet. It looks great, it's comfortable, and there are a few small gripes, but hey, isn't there always? Let us know what you think of this review and if you're going to be buying one of these yourself, or if you have one already, down in the comments. And whilst you're there, make sure you click subscribe and ring that notification bell to keep up with all the new videos. And also, if you want to know a little bit more about the products that you've seen today or any of the others, you can quench your thirst for the tech news and head over to our website. And don't forget, we sell merchandise, so check that out below too. My name's Christina, this is Kit Guru, and I am counting on seeing you next time. See ya!